Since July 16th, mother Casey Anthony has been locked up in jail. She is behind bars not far from where we are and is still the only person of interest in her daughter Kaylee's disappearance. What does Casey Anthony do all day? Joining us live is Drew Petramole, reporter for WDBO Radio. And Drew, it's a very small world. You actually know Clint, who we just heard in the first segment, who we'll be hearing from again. How do you know Clint?
We actually lived in an apartment complex. He lived in the building over from me. We hung out. We both lived there for about 2 years. So, we hung out pretty much every weekend. It's really strange to hear that he was actually, roommates with the boyfriend. It blew my mind when I first heard that.
How about when you watch him? Does this look like the Clint you know, or anything unusual about it? Or is that just you fully credit his memory, his recollection?
I know him to be an honest guy. I wouldn't doubt what he said. Like I said, I knew him for about 2 years. We kind of lost touch recently. He moved back to Jacksonville. I stayed here in Orlando. He was back and forth. I wasn't really aware that he was back in Orlando. I thought he was still back in Jacksonville. But right when he saw me on TV, he called me up and said, "I'm going to be on Greta tonight." I said, "I'm going to be on Greta tonight." So it's just a real small world, like you said.
Yeah, very small world. All right, now Casey's in jail. How does she spend her day?
Well, it's really, when I talk to people at the jail, it's a simple life. She's kind of secluded from other people. She's in protective custody right now, so she doesn't interact with other inmates. I actually looked at what her meals were, and they were just real simple meals. Grits and a slice of cheese and a cup of milk. A beef patty and carrots. So. Obviously a lot different life than she was living on the outside when we saw her at clubs and going out a lot.
And already she has declined some visits from her family. These are video visits, or they're not direct contact visits. And tomorrow, the grandparents and Lee, the brother, are expecting to go see her.
Yeah, that's tomorrow morning, and really has to see if she's actually going to see him, because she's been canceling the last couple of them. She can actually cancel in the morning. So when I talked to the jail spokesman, he said, you'll have to wait till the morning to find out if, they actually do see him.
The most stunning thing that Clint said, and we have much more, we're going to play of Clint in a moment, is that she gave the impression to him that Kaylee was with the grandparents the entire time. And of course, we've interviewed the grandparents, and the grandparents said they hadn't seen her since the day after Father's Day.
But one of the other things that I thought that was just really strange, he mentioned that how great of a mother she was. She seemed like, the ideal mother, the perfect mother. They had such a good relationship. But what I find striking is that first phone call when Casey didn't know she was being taped, when she was calling back and kind of demanding to talk to her boyfriend. And just, at least in my mind, didn't seem to be too concerned about where Kaylee was. That's just a big contrast for me, for when he says she was such a good mother, to that first phone call in jail when she didn't know she was being recorded. Seemed to have no regard for where her daughter was.
Well, it's so interesting. After the interview, we were talking about Casey, and he said to me, in sort of sense that how stunned he is, because he feels lied to, deceived, and he's surprised.
Right, and he even said that Tony feels the same way, that this was his last semester at Full Sail. And when I was talking to him earlier on the phone, he was kind of just saying how devastated they all were, and how it's been such a tough end of the semester, end of his college career, to try to deal with something like this when, just feeling totally betrayed.
But Tony's the boyfriend.
Right.
Did Tony, the boyfriend, say that he intends to go visit her at jail, or have any relationship with her at this point?
It didn't seem like that. Whenever I talked to Clint, he said that he hasn't been talking to Tony as much as recently. He kind of relayed to me that they might have had kind of a disagreement over him coming on TV like this and kind of telling the story. So I don't know their relationship that well, so I can't speak to it, but he did kind of mention that to me, that there was some disagreement as to whether he should be on TV or how this thing should play out.
And Clint said everything was normal, going to work, going to clubs, everything seemed absolutely normal. Drew, thank you. Coming up, we're going to have much more of your interview with Casey Anthony's June roommate, Clint House. Plus, after Father's Day, which is the 16th, do you know what car she was driving?
She had the white Sunfire.
Did she ever change cars?
Nope. She always had the same car.
And you were under the assumption she was going to work every day?
Yes, ma'am.
And that Kaylee was at the grandparents'?
Yes, ma'am.
And there was nothing peculiar, no red flag?
No red flag, no.
How about with Tony? Did he ever say anything was odd?
He never said anything was odd.
Did it look like the relationship was blossoming?
It seemed like they were, becoming pretty good, pretty tight in their relationship.
Was Kaylee a problem at all for Tony?
No, I don't think so. But like I said, I don't really want to talk about Tony. I don't want to put any words in Tony's mouth. When Tony's ready to talk about anything, he can talk about it, but I don't want to discuss Tony.
But did you ever see him, did they ever make a crack about Kaylee in front of you, or say anything that sort of
No, nothing negative about Kaylee.
Nothing at all.
He liked Kaylee. We all liked Kaylee.
So you moved out July 1. Between July 1 and July 14th, did you have any contact with Casey?
No, ma'am.
Did you talk to her?
No, ma'am.
Was she going to that bar where you're a DJ?
I stopped. I stopped doing the Friday nights with them at the end of June.
Did you see Tony at all during that period, between July 1 and July 15th?
No, I did not.
Did you talk to him on the phone?
No, I did not.
Why did you move out?
I needed my own place to stay. I was kind of staying at Tony's place for free, and I needed my own apartment. I didn't want to really, leech off of Tony, and so I needed my own place to go, and I found a place to live, so I moved.
July 15th is the day the grandmother calls the police. She makes a series of 911 calls, and in one of them notifies the police that her granddaughter Caylee is missing. How soon after that did you first just learn that Caylee was missing?
The day of, or the day after everything. As soon as I saw a news article that was released, that was when, I think it was like July 16th.
Do you know, did you talk to Casey after that point?
No, I did not.
Did you talk to Tony after that point?
Yes, I did.
Do you know how Tony learned about Caylee had disappeared?
Casey was at his apartment whenever her mother came to get her.
What was that scenario like when the mother came?
I don't know. I wasn't there.
Any problems, though? Was the mother mad?
I don't know. I wasn't there.
Okay. So that's how Tony learns about it, and you learn about it the next day. And since then, have you heard anything from Casey or Tony about the missing Caylee?
Me and Tony have talked about it. Of course, this is a pretty big story, but I have not talked to Casey, no.
Do you know the relationship now between Casey and Tony?
No, I do not.
So you don't know if it's still ongoing?
I'm pretty sure that it's not.
He hasn't been to jail to see her?
No, he has not.
So give me your overall view of Casey. If I met her someplace, let's say that I met her out here, and we were introduced, what would I think about her?
You probably think she was a good girl, like we all did.
So how does this surprise you?
Wouldn't you be surprised if somebody that was hanging out with you and your friends, like all of a sudden her daughter's missing and she's out partying?
Meaning on the 20th, when the pictures, were you there that night?
Yes, I was.
Do you remember being on the 20th, there on the 20th?
Yes, I do.
Do you remember who took the pictures?
Yes, I do.
Was she having a good time the 20th?
Yes, she was.
Nothing peculiar?
Nothing peculiar, no.
Now, she's people have said that she's lied about things. Lied about her job, you know about that?
Yes.
Surprise you?
She lied to us about her job.
Did she lie any other way to you?
She did say that she was trying to go back to school. That I don't think that was true either. She did tell me a story about the father of Caylee that does not seem to be true.
Which was?
That the father died in a car accident on the way to one of Caylee's birthday parties.
When she told you this, she looked you right in the eye and tell you this?
Yes, she did.
And not for 1 second did you suspect her?
Nope.
And she never said Casey been kidnapped? Or Caylee, rather?
No. She never said anything to anybody.
Did she ever act scared?
Nope. She acted completely normal.
Everything was fine?
Everything was fine.
Anything else you want to add about
No. Seems to be it.
Strange, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Very strange.
Coming up, is missing Caylee's grandfather, George, being threatened with bodily harm? Who would be going after George, the grandfather? He will tell you himself next.